same question, same mean, same standard deviation, but we have a sample of 320 people. We have 320 people. Everything is the same. The left is 125, the right is 999. The mean doesn't change, but we look skinnier because we put people in there. So we take our old standard deviation divided by the square root of the group. So literally, I back that thing up and I change it to divided by the square root of 320. Now, what is the answer to this one?
0.
0. Because it's 0.0000058 times. You with me?
This is just random. If the answer says E is 58, that means the zeros are on the right side. Okay.
So if it said 2.24 blah 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 e to the positive 58, then that means you would move the decimal 58 times that way. So negative means you're moving the decimal to the left, positive means you're moving the decimal to the right. Now this one says we have a sample, which means that last one's going to be divided because it's a group. What's the likelihood that the blood pressure is below 113? So my left is going to be negative 999. My right is going to be 113. My mean, my standard deviation is going to be the old standard deviation divided by the square root of 320. Y'all with me? Now, let's talk for just a second. I still have 1 or 2 people that needed to extend the test date, but the majority of y'all have done your test. Most of you are OCD and know your average to a T. So, your average in my math lab right now, this is when you go to your grade book and you look at your average. So, you can either think or you can calculate if you need to. Whatever that average is, counts for 80% of your grade. Plus, whatever you make on your exam counts for 20% of your grade. So, hypothetically, someone give me an average. Hypothetically.
85.
So if we are making, let's say, an 85.2 in this class right now, and we don't want to work on homework, or we already have our hundreds, and we see an 85.2 in our math lab grade book right now. Here is what we need, because some of y'all are like in stress mode. Am I speaking at meals? Oh, not everybody saw, but I wore this shirt for y'all today. For everybody in this room, I wore this shirt for y'all today.
No, that's right.
Okay? Some of y'all are really freaking out, and I realize you have other classes. So what we need to talk about is to make an A in this class, you have to have a 90 to 100. A B is an 80 to an 89. A C is a 70 to a 79. Now, some curriculum will let you make a D in your class because this is a terminating math class. So you can make a 60 to a 69, but we really want to pray for a C or higher. But D's are possibility for some majors, okay? So here's what we do. We go to our calculator and we do 85.2 times 0.80 because that's already in the book. Assuming we did no more homework, our grade can't go down. Plus what we think we're going to make on the exam. We always think so positive in the beginning. So this is showing you that if I have an 85.2 going into the final exam, I am not going to make an A. Y'all with me? Because I can't make higher than 100 on the exam. So then I say to myself, okay, I know I can't get an A, so let's see what do I have to make to keep a B. So I do second enter, I back that thing up, and the only thing that I can play with is the exam grade. So let's change the exam grade, let's say, to a 70. Do I still have my B?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's then back that thing up, let's say, to a 60. Still have my B. Y'all with me?
Yes.
So that means on my exam, I can make a 60 or higher and still get a D in the class. So then let me say, okay, what about a C? So if I back that thing up and let's say make a 20. Y'all with me? So if I make a 20 to a 59, I still have a C. If I gotta try it. I'm gonna make a D, which will probably count 0 to, let's say, a 19. Now, Ms. Cooper's still gonna keep your honey if you make a 20 or a 0, but I want realistically y'all not to get your panties in a wad, okay? Some of y'all may want to go out there and redo that homework because that may be the difference between an A and a B. Like, you may not have been able to make an A, but if you do your homework, then you may be able to make that A. I have taught you everything on Tuesday and Thursday next week. All we're doing is reviewing the exam. Now, I did have a couple of people ask me what off today is on the exam. Here is what's on the exam. Determine the minimal sample size. That was the very last problem that we did, which was the n equals 2s divided by the square root of n squared. Determine the sample size. You have one of those. And you're not going to like this. And I'm going to go ahead and warn you. 25 to 28. What section was that? 25 to 28 in section A2. 25 to 28 in section A2. Which it's not, I know Mariana's going, but I will tell you, that is the hardest problem on the whole exam. That is the hardest problem on the whole exam. That is going to be on your exam. Because you have data that you have to put in the calculator and get the mean, the standard deviation, and how many people there are. Then you have to get the error. Then you have to wiggle off the error. It's not as hard as you think, but it's everything put together, and that's what a final exam should do. So those are the only two problems out of everything I did today. This on the exam. And yet again, y'all, once you get all your homework done, like use the notes, phone a friend, get your homework done, and then work on the homework review. Because for the final exam, I have a final exam homework review out there. Because that's all we're going to do next week, is get ready for the final exam review. And the quicker you can get your homework done, the more time you can spend on your homework review. All right, peace out. You know everything I know now. Me too. I'm not stressed. She said mark me present. I said I forgot to mark anybody present though.
Or something.
Hey, don't. I told my whole class the other day. I told them, I said, bye, Joe. I told my whole class, I have whole person and I have lecture. I said, if you gonna come to class, sleep, play on your phone, or sit there and eat, don't come. Don't waste your time, don't waste my time.